Hi, everybody. This is Bonnie Harris. I'm here to provide some clarification on the Integrated Communication Strategy Statement, or ICSS. Out in the real world, outside of WVU, you may hear this called a core strategy statement or a core message, but no matter what it's called, there are some very common elements to this that I'm hoping to help describe here. First of all, it's important to remember that this is a short, succinct statement and it can't be translated to anything else. So, in other words, you can't use words that are murky or could mean different things, like transformative, for example. It also shouldn't sound like a sales pitch. It's not a tagline. In very rare circumstances, something like this might be used as a tagline, but that's very rare. Usually, the ICSS is the purpose of it is really for creatives and social media folks and marketers to use this statement as a way to align the messages no matter where they are. Obviously, we can't talk to our audiences in the same way on LinkedIn as we might in email or Facebook or a host of other channels. And so what we try to do is use the ICSS as a way to remain aligned with the brand, remain aligned with the campaign, and still be kind of familiar. You'll see some examples of ICSS statements in the lesson, but typically they're very short and they represent the connection of a rational benefit and an emotional benefit. And this is also where people might get a little bit confused. These are not features. A rational benefit, for example, if we're using the Puerto Rico, which was the case study of the last term for our course, a rational benefit might be something that's very concrete. It sort of exists in the left side of your brain. It's logical. Convenience was a good rational benefit for Puerto Rico. You didn't need a passport. It was close, for example. Cost effective is another kind of rational benefit for something like Puerto Rico. Emotional benefits are those that exist in the right side of our brain. So emotional benefits typically include kind of motivators or things that really make us feel good. For example, if you're really after, reducing burnout or you need to get off the grid or relaxation, that's an emotional benefit. If you want to go to an island, using Puerto Rico as our example again, where it's sustainable, where it's really environmentally friendly, that's an emotional benefit. It really kind of tugs at your heartstrings. What you do then is you take what you think is the biggest benefit for your audience from a rational perspective and an emotional perspective, and you put them together. Before I do that in our example, I want to say that this is another reason why you really have to know your audience and why it can't just be, hey, all millennials or Gen Z. You have to understand what really motivates these people, who they are, and that can't be a whole generation or millions of people. You got to know them. So let's go back to our Puerto Rico example. If I were creating an ICSS, and I think that convenience was the biggest rational benefit for my audience. And I'm going to say relaxation is the biggest emotional benefit for my audience. My ICSS might be something as simple as Puerto Rico represents a place that's very easy to get to and lets you relax. That might not sound very glamorous, and that's not what we want here. We want to deliver something to the creative team that they can work from and make it really cool. You don't want to do the creative work for them in the ICSS. This is really something that on real integrated campaigns, we keep this front and center. And sometimes we go back and we measure alignment by looking at all the different messages, even the ones that are generated by users, to see how well we're aligning with this core statement, this true purpose, this true intersection of rational and emotional benefit. Remember, it can't say anything that it doesn't mean. It can't be interpreted any other way. It's simple. It's often clunky. Sometimes you just write a sentence for rational benefit and a sentence for emotional benefit and put them together. It's a really good idea to provide maybe 3 or 4 examples of iterations of this so that your professor, your instructor can really kind of see the thought process you went through. And you also need to include it in your creative brief because that's what the creatives work from. So I'm really hoping that this description of the integrated communication strategy statement was helpful. There's a lot of information in your lesson, and of course, go to your professor or me if I'm your professor if you're struggling with this concept.